We begin with breaking news developments, as multiple news organizations report that civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson has passed away. For more than 5 decades, Jackson was widely recognized as a prominent figure in the U.S. civil rights movement. Rising to national visibility during the 1960s, he worked alongside leaders including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., advocating for desegregation, voting rights, and broader social equality for African Americans and other marginalized communities. Jackson was present at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis on April 4, 1968, the day Dr. King was assassinated, and later spoke publicly about that moment and its lasting impact on his life and activism. He went on to found Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, an organization focused on economic empowerment and expanding opportunities for disadvantaged communities. Jackson also entered national politics, running for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984 and again in 1988. His campaigns, built around what he called the Rainbow Coalition, aimed to unite a broad cross-section of Americans, including racial minorities, labor groups, women, and young voters. Observers often described his presidential runs as historically significant, helping expand political participation and influence within the Democratic Party. In 2008, Jackson was seen in Chicago on election night when Barack Obama was elected president, a moment many commentators said symbolized generational progress within the civil rights movement. Beyond domestic activism, Jackson sometimes played informal diplomatic roles. Over the years, he met with various international leaders during humanitarian or negotiation efforts that, according to reports at the time, contributed to the release of detained Americans in several instances. Analysts have noted that these international interventions were unconventional, but reflected his broader approach to advocacy and conflict mediation. Like many public figures with long careers, Jackson also faced controversies. At different points, he addressed criticism over remarks and personal matters, issuing statements acknowledging concerns, and in some cases, apologizing for past comments. In later years, despite health challenges, he continued appearing at public events tied to civil rights and social justice causes, including gatherings connected to high-profile legal cases and community movements. Supporters say his decades of activism helped shape national conversations around equality, economic justice, and political representation, while critics sometimes debated aspects of his public record. Jackson is survived by his wife, Jacqueline Jackson, and their family. In a statement, his family described him as a servant leader who dedicated his life to advocating for the oppressed and underrepresented. Public observances and memorial services are expected to be held in Chicago, where supporters, colleagues, and community members will reflect on his legacy. As tributes continue, many are revisiting Jackson's long career and assessing his influence on American political and civil rights history, a legacy that will likely